most ruthless rulers in Roman history. Seneca lived close to power, close to corruption, close to fear, and in the end, he was forced to take his own life after being accused of conspiracy. So when Seneca talks about time, he is not speaking from a comfortable distance. He knows exactly how fragile life is. And that is why his question cuts so hard. What are you doing with your time? Money can come back. Reputation can come back. Property can come back. Time cannot. Once it is gone, it is gone. That is why Seneca found people so strange. They guard money like it is sacred, but they throw away time like it is free. If someone steals a little money, we get angry. If someone damages our property, we demand justice. But when our time is wasted, we barely react. Even worse, we waste it ourselves. Scroll, refresh, reply, check, compare, repeat. Then we say, I had no time. Seneca would say, yes, you did. You just gave it away. And modern life has made this even worse. Your attention is under attack from the moment you wake up. One notification, one app, one quick check, and suddenly half the morning is gone. You open your phone for a minute and come out 30 minutes later more anxious, more distracted, and no closer to the life you actually want. Seneca never saw social media, but he understood distraction perfectly. He knew that a lot of people are not busy because they are building something. They are busy because silence scares them. Because the second they stop moving, they have to face themselves. Am I living well? Am I becoming who I wanted to become? Do I even care about the things filling my day? Or am I just being carried by habit? Those questions are uncomfortable, so people drown them out with noise. They call it relaxation. They call it staying informed. They call it being productive. Often it is just escape, and that leads to one of Seneca's hardest truths. Busyness is not the same as living. A full calendar does not mean a full life. A crowded schedule does not mean a meaningful one. A person can be constantly moving and still be wasting everything. He can chase status, money, meetings, clients, praise, and deadlines all day long and still never touch anything that actually matters. That is the trap. Exhaustion feels important. Pressure feels important. Being needed feels important. But Seneca asks a better question. Are you busy with your life or busy with everyone else's expectations? Because a lot of people build lives that look successful from the outside and feel empty on the inside. They choose careers to be approved. They chase money to feel superior. They perform success to avoid shame. They say yes when they mean no. They become servants of reputation. And reputation is a cruel master. You can spend years trying to look impressive to people whose values you do not even respect. Seneca would call that a terrible trade. Because reputation is only an echo. Your actual life is the thing being lost. And this is where modern comparison makes everything worse. You are always seeing somebody else's highlight reel. Somebody younger, somebody richer, somebody prettier, somebody more successful, somebody who looks like they already figured it out. So people rush. They try to catch up to lives they do not understand. They lose hours comparing themselves to images, days measuring themselves against strangers, years chasing a feeling that never arrives. And while they are doing that, life keeps moving. That is why Seneca says, do not wait for the perfect moment, because it will not come. A lot of people tell themselves, life will begin later. After school, after the promotion, after the move, after the money, after confidence, after the right relationship, after things calm down. Seneca thought that was one of the deadliest lies human beings tell themselves. Later never shows up the way you imagine it. And if you keep waiting for life to begin, you will reach the end having spent your whole existence preparing. Preparing to live, preparing to change, preparing to become honest, preparing to become brave. Then one day, it is over. That is why Seneca sounds so urgent. He is trying to wake you up. Life is not happening somewhere in the distance. It is happening now. Not when everything is fixed. Not when everything is easier. Not when you finally feel ready. Now. That is the point. And here is the part most people miss. A wasted life does not always look like a disaster. Sometimes it looks normal. It looks responsible. It looks respectable. It looks like working, buying, posting, replying, and staying busy. From the outside, the person looks fine. Inside, though, something is missing. Depth, direction, peace, ownership. Years pass, but nothing essential seems to happen. Seneca would say that is the real danger. Not that you do not have enough time. That you never really owned the time you had. For the Stoics, the goal was never to live the longest life possible. It was to live well. A short life lived with purpose is better than a long life spent asleep. That is why Seneca's philosophy is not depressing. It is a wake-up call. He is not telling you to hate life. He is telling you to stop leaking it. Stop giving your attention to things you do not care about. Stop living for approval. Stop pretending distraction is harmless. Stop postponing your real life until some imaginary future. Because time is not something separate from you. Time is your life. When you waste time, you are wasting yourself. That is the hard truth Seneca wanted people to face. We are careful with money because we can count it. We are careless with life because it disappears quietly, not in one giant moment, in fragments, 10 minutes here, an hour there, a year gone, then another. And one day you look up and realize you have been busy for years without truly living. Seneca's message is simple. You do not need more time. You need to stop giving away the time you already have. You need to stop confusing motion with meaning. You need to stop confusing approval with value. You need to stop waiting for life to begin. Because life is already here. And if you do not take hold of it now, you may reach the end and realize something terrifying. You were not living at all. You were only passing time.